G'day, mate.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. I've always been here. How are we going?
Yeah. We're going.
Big week?
Yeah, it's been a big week. It's been a big year.
It's been a massive year. Not massive the way we wanted it to be massive, but massive no less.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking about this video from a few weeks ago. You got a plan, like it's Collingwood. There's nobody else that you got to talk to when it comes to Collingwood. Why? Like, why am I trying to like rile up the rivalry? It's like, well, that doesn't exist anymore. But
it does.
It does for you.
There's always a rivalry. This is 100 years, 150 years of Carlton, Collingwood, you know, probably started 50 or 60 years ago. It's hard just to just eliminate that rivalry. It's always going to be there. I think more so with the fans, more so with my generation. It's still there, strong. Is it as strong as it used to be? No, because of where we're at.
Yeah, we haven't really showed up for it.
We lose. So they're up and about. We're not. Does it have that? Like if you win this week, and don't get me wrong, I want to win, you know. Does it really matter as much as...
It's not going to mean that we're on the right track. I just think it'll relieve some pressure for a week.
Oh, yeah. No.
I think we need something.
No, you need it.
We need something. I mean, like, when's the last time we roared? Geelong. But like, and that's it.
That's it. Since then, I mean, every win, even, you know, when we beat Essendon, and I hate Essendon, not as much, but it's right up there. I know with your generation, you kind of got a little bit more for Essendon too. Yeah, we beat them, but I wasn't jumping up and down.
No, it wasn't convincing. I get it.
They're not travelling well either.
Yeah.
They're just as bad as us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just two teams that are just average. But as far as Collingwood go, yeah, it's still a big week. I'm still pumped to go to the game.
You are?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I pump to go to every game. I love going to the footy. I love it. I love getting ready. I love walking to the G. I'm pumped. I love sitting down. I sit with my family, friends. We sit there. I love it. I love it. Halfway through the game, not so much.
Usually in the second quarter at some point, it starts falling away.
Yep.
The last 2 weeks have been abysmal. Have you seen this before? Like this type of spiralling? Have you seen this?
Yeah, of course, because you got to remember we went through that in like late. I mean, it wasn't for as long because we just won premiership, but like 89, 90, you know, remember they got rid of Wolsey and all that, and there was shit going on. We weren't winning games, and then also, you know, the 2000s, there was some bad times there, man.
Right.
Just like, there is. It's like that, but it's different this time. It's different this time. I think there was an expectation. You know what I mean? There's an expectation, you know, and we expected better, and it's been 20 years of, you know, and it's time, you know, the early 2000s, we kind of expected it. We had all those, you know, penalties and draft picks, so we kind of expected it. So then we're going, all right, so it's going to take time to build, you know, so we kind of like it wasn't. But now it's embarrassing now.
It is embarrassing now. Yeah, the spirit that's not there within the group anymore. Yeah.
And that's
more than losing.
That's one of the worst things I've seen. Yeah. It's his spirit. I don't care what anyone says. The disconnect in the team is bad, and you can see it on the ground.
Yeah.
You can see it on the ground.
Where do you sit on coach with the players, losing the players? I remember you called it with Teague very early.
Yep.
I think you called it after Collingwood round 2.
I did.
Around 2021. You're like, yeah, like, do you feel the same way now?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I don't know, you can't. How can you say they're connected? Because it's not even about losing.
Yeah.
It's about some of the things they do on the ground that really gets to me. Like, there was one incident on the weekend that got me. You know, how does Doc pat someone on the back after kicking a goal? He did it to Boak.
Oh, the footage of him. I thought he was making fun of the umpire because they paid the free. didn't they pay a free? And he was making fun of the fact that like he's touching him.
If that's the case, then I got it wrong. But to me, Boak just kicked the goal. They go back to the centre.
Right.
I don't care. You don't pat him on the back for anything.
Yeah.
I'd punch him in the stomach and give away the free. That's what I would have done. But it's just those little things, you know what I mean? So you see that, and you see some other little things like, you know, maybe like someone's getting pushed over. They're not really going.
No, they're not protective of each other.
You know, so it feels like the bottom end players and the top end players, there's a disconnect between them.
Yeah.
And that's bad.
Yeah. And then it starts spilling out with the fans too. I mean, we saw the graffiti and woke up to that on Friday morning. We've all got an alibi because at 1 a.m. we were on the fan cams. So
yeah, we've got an alibi.
Got evidence.
I won't do it, you know me, man. I hate graffiti, but I can understand that it's a frustration that's just now spilled over.
We said it before we started filming, like, I disagree. I don't condone the action, but I actually kind of agree with the message.
Because I think with supporters outside of the channels, right, their voice isn't heard.
Yeah.
They're saying, and they can't get through to this club. They're not listening. You know, they almost treat us with discontent. Is that the word?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
They do sometimes.
Yeah.
They do. They're like, and it's frustrating for us. You know what I mean? Like, we demand more. Mars had a bit of a rant, and you know, like, demand more, expect more. They were the words that come out, and I don't think we do at times. We don't demand more, and this is the supporters too, guys.
Yeah.
The supporters, you've got to demand more, and this graffiti maybe is just a way of expressing yourself.
Yeah. Well, 2 years ago, the graffiti was the scenes after Essendon.
Yep.
For me, it's the same thing. It's just the spillover. It's the wrath.
Yep.
And I mean, they had to do something. Obviously, spoke yesterday with the president, and I mean, it's all words. End of the day, the actions and the results are going to speak more than anything that he says. But like, they had to face it. You know, whether I don't know. Everyone's going to have an opinion on it. But I mean, I don't agree with a lot of what he said. But at the same time, he spoke.
That's good.
In front of it, and he faced it, and he was uncomfortable, and I was uncomfortable, and everyone's uncomfortable, and I don't know. I mean, I've spent the whole season just like being disappointed and angry and frustrated, and I don't know. Do you think there's a time that has to come where like where's the line in the sand for when everything moves forward?
The problem is there's a line in the sand nearly every week, and they don't take it, and then there's always this. Oh, this week's the line in the sand, you know.
Stick fat.
Stick fat. And, you know, and they're all just words. Like, when is the line? And the line in the sand comes when the leaders stand up and say, enough is enough.
Yeah.
And are those leaders doing that?
No.
I don't think so at times, you know.
No.
And it all starts from the top. Sorry, this is going to be a rant. It all starts from the top. It all starts from the president. It all starts from the board. It all starts from them.
Yeah.
That's where it starts.
Well, they set the culture.
They set the culture. And they, you know, to me, it's not set yet because, you know, like little things, even little things that were said in the video yesterday. You know, we discussed it. You know, he called it a business. Don't like that. He also said, you know, if we get 80% right, really? No, I would have said, mate, we're going to get 100% right. You've set the roof. You set like the top, you know, at 80%. That's what it sounded like to me. What do you mean if I get 80% right? Then, you know, I don't know, man, like those little things, and that's setting the standard, you know what I mean? And then Cripper comes out, he says his things. Come on, bro, man, like, and he's, you know, like, I don't know, and I don't blame him. I'm sure he gives 100%, you know. He's a competitor, you know, but I don't think they're stretching as far as they can.
No, they're not.
They're just missing out. They're giving it, but they're not just giving it all. And to get to the top, you have to give it all.
Yeah. Wow, that's going back.
That is going back. That was one of the
4
things.
years ago?
And I still believe it.
True.
I still stand by that. You know, like you can give 100%. Can you? You know, can you give a little bit more? And that's all we need to do. We need to give that little bit more, you know what I mean?
So how do you, like what's your plan of attack mentally for, like, there's 8 more weeks of this?
It's hard because what are you going to do in mid-season?
Yeah.
What are you going to do? Like, what's the plan of attack now?
Yeah.
So if he's a coach, Is it playing list? It's all of the above.
No, as in, how are you gonna be a fan, like a supporter? Like, that's because I'm trying not to
As a
think
fan,
too far,
alright.
but we've got 8 weeks and it looks like it just gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse.
I suppose with fans, what I'm looking at now is like little things, like little bits of improvement in attitude. Naturally, young kids, you're looking at them. Attitude, the young kids, leadership. I'm looking at all that, and hopefully we can get improvement, like little increments of improvement, and then by the end of the year, we're ready to, like, let's be serious. It's almost ready for next year, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it's kind of like who's going to be here next year, who's going to earn a contract,
and
which kids are going to show
so that's what you're looking for.
But
that's what you're looking for.
On the other end, I saw, Flynn Young and Billy Wilson played last week, and I sort of looked at it, did the ratings, I'm like, this can't be good for them.
Nah,
like,
imagine that.
This can't be good for their confidence. So I want to see the kids. I don't want to see all of them at once, but I do want to see them drip fed in.
Yep.
But
we have done that.
If it becomes a slaughterhouse, it's like,
it's tough on them.
Is that really going to be good for them? I remember Durden coming in for one of his first games, and we had against Port, and they kicked 19 goals in a row. I think that was one of Kemp's first few games as well. And it's okay, how's that going to set him up to succeed? So on the one hand, I want the older guys to cop it because, whatever, you've had your time and it didn't work out with you. Then on the other hand, I want to see the bits of sprinkling for the future, and I don't know what the balance is and what the right amount of kids is. And
I think when the kids come in, I'm just thinking, if a kid comes in, all right, so you don't want to be punished like that week in, week out. It's still a great experience for them. It's still like a big thing for them, their first game. I think that's what they're going to take. They're going to take that first game, running out onto the ground. You know what I mean? If it happens week in, week out, I think then it might start affecting them slowly. Leaders doing the right thing on the ground, what they're seeing. I think that might start affecting them. That's why you've got to be real careful in how you lead these kids now. Yeah. If they're your next crop, if they're your leaders, you've got to be real careful, someone like an Ollie Hollands, mate, you can stand behind that kid and go, yep, he gives it all, He
goes to show that, you want him to hit targets, but he's one that goes to show, even if you're not, the way you show pride in the Guernsey and the monogram, that's really all a supporter wants.
That's all we want. At the end of the day, what do we want? At the end of the day, all we want is we just want to win games.
Well, yeah.
And I said this, and I'll say it on here, when you walk away from a game, right, forget about the winning. Forget about winning. What do you want out of it?
I want to feel like my passion is represented out there on the field.
Thank you. So you want to be proud.
Yeah.
I want to walk away from that game proud about my team. And I don't now.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. I just want to be proud of them, win or lose. I just want to be proud of this team, and they don't give me that at the moment. I said this to you. You know me as Rocco. Most people know me as Rocco, the Carlton supporter. So when I walk into work and that, what they did on the weekend represents me.
Yeah.
I don't think they understand that. So what you've done, so if they come out and give you a performance and the players and you're proud of it, I'll accept the loss. But when you get that sort of stuff, I can't accept it. Because that's not me.
I did an interview with this podcast the other day. As a Doggy supporter and a Saints supporter. Called Two Guys, One Cup. Great name.
I saw the podcast,
And it was fascinating because they were saying, they watched the fan cams, they watched the channel, they found it this year, and they were saying, wow, you are not the Carlton supporter that I grew up with, because they grew up in the 80s, and hearing you say, oh, I've seen Five Spoons, it's that was the Doggies and that was the Saints.
Yep.
And so it's just really interesting. I talk about the identity and, Rob said it yesterday. I asked him how many flags have you seen. He's like, I've seen 8. I'm like, cool. Yeah. 5 spoons over here.
You've seen 5 spoons. Are you any better than the Saints and the Doggies?
No.
Yes.
They represent more success than what I've seen.
Yep. There you go.
So for someone like you, that's wild, right?
It's heartbreaking. I can never put myself in that same basket.
Yeah.
Even now, I can't put them. How can Carlton be in the same basket? That's no disrespect to them.
Yeah.
And the Doggies are playing some great footy. I can't put myself in the same basket as those basket case clubs. But we're that.
We are that.
And that's what I don't get. Like, it freaks me out, man. It really, like, I can't accept it. I can't accept it, and I can't believe that the club accepts it.
Yeah.
And they do.
They do.
They do. I don't care what anyone says. You can get the president there. You can get Jesus Christ doing an interview with you, and I'm telling you, you cannot convince me. You can't convince me any different.
Yeah. Well, the only thing that's going to get people on board is action and results.
Yep.
End of the day, the action might take the form of who gets replaced, maybe.
Yeah.
And the form is the result is obviously the winning.
Yeah.
I've asked a lot of people this. So Graham Wright, the big Collingwood man, the football,
the next Messiah,
the football man, you know. Which, to be honest, I'm glad they put a football person in. So, like, I actually agree with that decision.
There's some good things about that move. I like.
If he says, I believe Voss is the man and we need to build around him, I've asked a lot of people, would you get behind that if it's coming from him?
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
You have to. I'll disagree with it.
Yeah.
But I will get behind it.
Yeah.
Just like I did with
like
the
you have
first.
That much trust in Wright's decision making.
Well, we have to now.
True.
We have to. We have to have that trust. We can't, like, unless we see him doing something completely stupid, then we go, oh, what are you doing, you know? But, you know, like, Voss isn't the whole problem.
No. He's one of the many.
He's one of the many,
Yeah.
but he could be. He could also be the solution if we do this right.
Do you think he can improve?
Anyone can improve. Is he? He's a little bit stubborn at times, I think.
Yeah.
And I don't like that.
Yeah. The balance of I'm going to go down swinging my way and adapting.
Adapting, and you have to adapt, man. We all have to adapt. I've adapted, you've adapted.
That's true.
We've all adapted, or else we're just going to be, you know, in our careers, in our family, we're just going to stay, you know, stagnant, stale, you know. But so we have to adapt. Is he good enough to adapt? Is he good enough? That's the question. We don't know. We don't know. Like, I'm just looking at past. Man, his past coaching stint wasn't that good.
Yeah.
He comes along now. Has he really adapted and moved on? I don't know. He hasn't yet. Can he do it in the future? I hope so.
Yeah.
If he's smart, he will. If he's smart, he puts the right people around him.
It always seems like we're looking back when these decisions get made. Mm-hmm. So, like, for example, like the whole recommendations when he was hired, for example, like, it was pretty clear that he needed to have the right assistants around him back then. They didn't do it in the moment. For whatever reason, maybe they weren't available, the assistant coaches that they were after. Like, okay, fine, that was 2021. But, like, what about the year after? Why didn't you go after him then? And then the year after that, why didn't you get him then? It's like you knew what the recommendations were, and it took, you know, we're in year 4 now.
So who's in charge of that? Who's in charge of, like, setting up assistant coaches? Voss has to be part of that decision. Of course, right? But he can't
head of
all
football?
I don't know.
Ish?
It could be.
Head of football, like,
I don't know how much the board get involved in these things. We're always blaming the board for everything, but I don't know how much they get involved. I suppose they're in charge of putting the people to make the decisions.
Yeah.
So it would have to be head of football.
Yeah.
What are we doing after 4 years? We're the only club how many changes have we done?
Yeah.
Like, not many.
We've added assistants like the Clark, Ebert, Lonergan.
Yep.
These types, but like tactical.
Are they tactical coaches?
Well, I think they're just more development coaches. Well,
that's not even working either. Because our development's not working either.
That deal's also not working.
So that's not working, you know what I mean? So we're getting the right people in, you know what I mean? Who's behind the scenes working on these people? Who are the best people to get? All right, so he's not tactically the best coach. We know that.
Yeah.
They say, like, we're not saying it.
Yeah, it's been told to us. Yeah, it's been made very clear.
Just, where are the tactical coaches? That would have been a question to ask. To ask one of the coaches. Like, I want to ask Voss that.
Yeah.
Where are the tactical coaches? Who are they?
Who are they? Where are the geniuses?
Yeah, where are the geniuses to help you out? You know what I mean? So
it's hard to find them. I couldn't even tell you right now who's out there as an assistant.
Nah.
Like, forget about head coach for a minute. Like, Longmire's a name, Simpson. But I couldn't tell you right now Who are these tactical guys at other clubs that you could poach? Like, how many of them are really
Got
that
no
good
idea, to tell you
tactically?
the truth. We don't get paid to make those decisions. Like look what's walking past us too.
Yeah.
You wouldn't believe it. Like, you wouldn't believe it. Like a dirty, stinky magpie.
Eating the fucking...
He just ate a worm.
No fear about us being yellow whatsoever.
Like, you got to see these. He's just walking by us, looking at us.
With a strut. No fear that we're here at all. This fucking
That
thing.
is so... Oh, look at that.
It knows we're talking about it.
Look at this.
Couldn't give a fuck that we're talking
Look
about it.
at-
Oh, is it coming over here?
He's
mate?
actually walking
Got
towards us.
no fear whatsoever, this thing.
Oh, my God.
Oh, wow.
It did find a big worm too. That is, I'm telling you,
That's-
you can't. That's as good as the little kid that went to the toilet behind you. Not long ago.
So,
We're here to talk about Collingwood,
these
aren't we?
fuckers, man. Like, this thing right here is eating worms right in front of us.
Right in front of us.
Like,
It's amazing.
no fear.
No fear. I'm actually scared of it now. I hate
When
magpies.
they swoop,
They swoop, yeah.
fucking swoop.
They swoop, man. They know. They got no fear. But yeah.
I mean, right now they're the best team in the league. And I think right now we're the worst team in the league.
Yep.
Like in the last 2 weeks,
100%.
we're the worst team in the league.
100%. Like the way we've been, as far as the way we're playing, I mean, who's worse than us? Maybe Richmond had a couple of bad weeks. West Coast even showed something the other
Yeah.
day.
We're the most broken at the moment.
And especially of where we were supposed to be and the players.
Bro, this thing is like right here. Where are you going, mate? Fuck out of here. Where are you going, mate?
Look, it doesn't even fly away.
Where are you going, mate? Get out of here.
He doesn't even fly away. He just walked away.
This thing has no fear of me at all. Oh, it just shut.
That's what he thought about you.
See?
Even they just, I'm telling you, that is,
There's like a, yeah.
it's an omen. It's an omen. Oh. I know where, I lost my train of thought.
Well, that's kind of what we need. When are we going to stand up to him?
Yeah, 100%.
We're kind of like watching them,
Yep.
like, oh, Collingwood's going to belt us this week.
Yep.
We're kind of all just like sitting there like, which I get it, the form line says that we're
Yep.
going to get belted. I get it. But also, draw the fucking line in the sand.
Again, we're another line in the sand. It's another line in the sand. You know, there should be a line in the sand every week.
True.
Every week. You know, like I also hate, you know, people go like, oh, you know, this is a milestone game. We're gonna like do it. Are you? Is that what you need?
No.
Someone died this week. I'm gonna wear an armband. I'm doing it for really?
Oh,
Is that what they wanted?
I saw
they
the-
died, and then they want you to win this game now.
I saw the Robert Walls Cup that they're doing for the Brisbane game, and in my head, first thing I thought, I'm going to let him down again.
One last time.
Just let him down one more time.
Last time, yeah. The last time they're going to let him down. Exactly right, you know. Yeah, they are. They're travelling well.
They're terrorising us.
They are.
Their fans are terrorising us.
Actually, they're not.
Terrorising me.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but if you look at it, I think they're actually relaxing on us.
They're pitying us.
They are,
Worse.
and that's worse.
It's worse. They're pitying us. Yeah, they are.
That is worse. They're pitying us,
It's
you know.
worse when you get a comment. I'm sure you see it. Oh, I'm a Collingwood supporter here, but the competitions, you know, it's good when Carlton are up and about. Like, hey, mate.
That is funny when they do that. They're kind of like patronising us.
Yeah.
You know, they're sitting there going, oh, yeah, oh, my God, I love your channel, you know, I love you. Shut up, man. Like, I'd rather you come on and say, like, I love when they come on and go, Pies are going to smash you this week. And I'm going, that's better, you know.
Yeah.
That's what I try them to bring
I
back.
don't want your fucking pity.
Yeah.
I want my club to stand up and be, just show, like,
I think the supporters do. I don't think the players care so much.
do you think that's just, the pressure just caves in on them?
There's definitely pressure on
And they
them.
just can't relax out there. Like, I mean, I think it maybe started a little bit that way, but I think the Richmond loss, obviously.
I don't think they care much, don't care enough to keep fighting. They don't really care enough. Does it mean that much to them? Because if it did, they wouldn't just collapse like that. Like, where are the leaders out there to stop the run,
Yeah.
to do something? Like, I don't know, like, Tell me something. I posed this question a few weeks ago. Actually, it was one of my rants. I'm going to get your opinion about this, right? Do you think Carlton, as the organisation, or as the president said, the business, do you think they really care about winning premierships?
Not enough.
I don't think they do. It's not the most important thing to them.
You can show success without premierships.
Exactly.
And you can get comfortable in a metric without a premiership to say, but we've grown.
So,
but this has grown. But this program is, you know, like...
So at the end of the year, when they get together and all that, they'll do that. They'll go, oh, man, we raised here, we've got $1 million underneath the table here, man, we've got $20 million here, we've got this, mate, we've got the members, we picked up that, mate. Did you see that? We got the did you see the new sponsors we got? They're dickheads, I can't believe they came with us. Remember, when you get those sponsors, it's 150 years of blood, sweat and tears that the jumper did to make your job easier. So all your media people out there at Carlton, don't think you're doing a great job. I could do that job, right? I could get sponsors to that club, right? Is he still about? So I said this, and I stand by it. They don't need to deliver a premiership, Terry. They just have to deliver the dream.
Yeah,
That's all they got to do, because you'll be back next year. Just deliver the dream. I hate to say it, and don't get me wrong, because I'm not saying anything against religion, but it's exactly like a religion. They do not have to deliver heaven. They just have to sell you heaven.
Make you believe that it exists.
And that's what.
But it does exist. You told me it did.
Yes.
You told me it did. You said it was the best day of your life, and you said it was.
That's right. And that's all they'll keep doing that. They'll keep bringing back the players, and they'll say, and you know what? We'll come back next year because we want that dream.
Man, this thing's rattling me at the moment.
It's singing now. It's singing. It's singing. That's what I think, and I think that's one of the core problems with Carlton, because if that's not on top of their list, you can never achieve it. Or I'm not saying you can't ever achieve it, but it's a lot more difficult, where if your main target was the premiership and that's all that mattered.
Yeah. Well, the quicker the self-interest can be removed from within the club and within wherever it exists, I think the quicker we get to a solution.
We'll see.
A lot of people that get paid good money,
100%,
pay their bills,
100%.
And they're comfortable in life, and they have.
Maybe we should make them uncomfortable.
Well, I think we are.
Well, at the moment we are kind of, but are we?
Like I think so.
You reckon?
Yeah, I think so.
Are the players uncomfortable? I don't think there's some players.
Not as much.
Yes.
Yeah, not as much.
No, they're not.
Not as much.
They don't show it, you know. Like if they were uncomfortable, oh, look, you know, like I speak to a few past players and that, they say, mate, they used to fight every week for their spot, and these are all Australians.
Yeah.
And they still were worried about losing their spot. I don't think our players are.
Yeah.
Some of them, anyway. There are some that
you can see the safety there.
100%.
Some of these guys are genuinely never going to be dropped.
100%.
Yeah.
And that's bad. And does that give you a disconnect between those top players and the bottom players? Maybe.
Maybe.
So, you know, these are all little questions, you know, we haven't answered, you know, like we just don't know, you know what I mean? But we just got to, aren't we supposed to be talking about Carlton Collingwood?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but it always goes like that.
We can go on all day about this, you know, and we're still not going to get anywhere, you know, and hopefully these changes are made. Hopefully, you know, hopefully these are the right people. Sure, let's be honest, you know, like people have been put in positions that didn't deserve it.
Yeah.
100% they
have. It's like
have.
a Nepo baby. You know, it's like a trust fund baby.
Yeah, it is.
It's like the kids of today, they got all the generational wealth that was built on the
100%.
The hard work of the migrants back in the 50s.
But it is. But you think about it. So this club, as I said, not a business, this football club, has been 150 years of blood, sweat and tears by players, officials and supporters. And we've got to a stage now, I don't care what anyone says, we are the biggest club. And I said that 100 times, we are the biggest club in the country, right? And I've heard comments, You can keep writing your keyboard warriors. Write me those comments. I love it. They're going, oh, how can you be the biggest? Hawthorn's won this. Yes. On field, you are killing it, which I wish we were, right? But we are the biggest club. We're rubbish, and we're 100,000 members, the most money, supporters. Mate, we win. I'm telling you, we win a grand final, man. You won't be able to fit us in the MCG.
Yeah, that's the kind of...
We are the biggest club built on that, and now we're getting a bunch of players coming in, a bunch of officials all coming into this club and sprucing how great it is to play in front of 100,000 people every week, and how great it is. You know, we've got the biggest sponsors. Yeah. Because of that.
Because of what happened back, yeah.
That's why, and I don't think they appreciate that.
Yeah, and they don't know how to get through it.
Well, then, if they don't know how to get through it, well, that's again on the club. Have we got the right people around them to help them get through it, you know?
Well, yeah, it's all about the environment that they operate. I mean, Paul and I went to training yesterday. I don't know if you've spoken to him.
Not yet. I'll speak to him tonight.
I'll let him sort of tell me. It was quiet out there.
Well, someone sent me a photo, said there was about 12 people there.
I counted. There was, at like maximum, not including the media that were there with their cameras, there was about 24 people total, 24 total supporters or whatever. Yeah, there weren't many people there, but whatever, that's okay.
It was a Monday. Look, I understand that, but there's two reasons for that, let's be honest, right? The first reason is we're just travelling shit, right?
Yeah.
That's got to be part of it. I mean, even this week, you watch, I don't think the crowd's going to be humongous. No. It'll be a decent crowd.
60.
I reckon between 65 and 70, I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Right? That's what I'm thinking, right? But the other reason is the club hasn't made the supporters feel welcome. You know, when they call it a viewing,
yeah. Yeah, I know. I mean, maybe it's one of those, it's a little thing, but it's a big thing.
It is a big thing to supporters. We want to be welcome.
Session?
Well, to call it a viewing session, or, you know, make sure you express your interest. I should be able to walk into that ground on their training, and I don't need you telling me I can come and watch my players train. And I think we feel a little bit disconnected with them.
I think the viewing session thing, I don't care too much. It's open training to me. It's like I used to work at Safeway, now it's called Woolies. It's always going to be called Safeway.
Yeah, I know.
When you go to these sessions, I will say you go there, and everyone this year so far has had the coffee cart there. They give you a little ticket and you get a half price coffee, and you do get welcomed. I can't say I don't feel welcomed as a supporter when I go there. Some people like to talk about like the wording of the viewing session and like we're animals and like, maybe we can laugh about it a bit. I just got bigger problems than the name of the session.
It is bigger problems, but I mean, but for the supporter, we have got bigger problems winning games, winning premierships. I do understand.
Playing 4 quarters.
But all right, so you know, as far as a supporter, the one thing outside of winning and that, I want to feel part of it.
Yeah, connected.
I want to feel part of the club.
How do you think you can do that? Winning's probably one of the only
Winning's
things.
the big one. You win, I'm telling you, that fixes everything.
Everything.
We're the only team that talks about, we're the only supporters who talk about our board.
So true.
Look, who knows? I've actually asked other supporters, I said, do you know who your board members are?
I can tell you who they are and when they were appointed.
What job they do, right? How long they've been supporting. They're like, who does that? But we do, because we're looking for answers, man. So we're just trying to find it. So, but yeah, I just want to be connected. So winning will definitely do that. Let's be honest.
Yep.
Winning fixes everything.
Yep.
Right? You just want to be part of it, and then this kind of corporate, the way it feels like they're the corporate, we are the supporters. I don't like that. It's got to be, it's our football club. Man, look, it's my football club.
Yeah.
And it's your football club. Like, I feel like I'm the best supporter in the world, right? And I'm sure you feel like that too. You feel like no one loves a club like me, and we all feel like that, and that's great. I want that. I want everyone to feel like I am the most passionate supporter.
Oh, I don't care. I don't care too much about that, because I just know that there's so many of us that feel it similar. I think part of I know that the interview with Rob was a nothingness to a lot of people.
Yep.
But I do believe that there's something in dialogue to heal, to fix any relationship that breaks down whatever. Like, you and I have had conversations, we go back and forth, but like at the end of the day, that conversation can be part of the solution.
It could be the start for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, I've said this before, like with Sayers, like he sort of started it. Maybe he was in it because it was just positioning himself, you know, because the election was coming up and get the fans on board. But like, if there's a true commitment to connecting with the supporters through conversation,
but genuine conversation.
Yeah, of course.
So it can't be fake. You can't have that fake conversation. So if there's genuine conversation, yes, we can fix this, you know.
Yeah.
Are they being genuine? We won't know. We won't know. We won't know. Like, was that conversation with you? We won't know deep inside what were the interior motives for that. You know what I mean? Was it really to get an insight on the fans and start connecting the fans, or was it more for them?
I think it was a little bit of a, not the white flag, I think it was a little bit of, all right, we may as well try this.
I think so too.
That's how I took it. I didn't take what I heard as, okay, we're fixed. I just took it as, you know what, like, you don't have anywhere else to go.
Yep.
So you may as well get with the fans and try.
Yep.
See what happens.
Yep, 100%. I think there's a bit of that.
And again, I think it's a start. I think it hopefully will open the door to more conversations, not just with me, but like with a lot of the creators. I believe you've got to be able to sit and talk with the boardroom, and
you should be able
and
to
sit in the Jumper Punch studio and like
from the
boardroom to Reservoir, you got to be able to.
I think you do, you know? And it would be good. I don't think that's going to happen.
No.
I still think they pick and choose who they want and who's going to benefit them. I don't think they're up to having some real discussions with some. When I say real discussions. How do I say this? You know, some passionate supporters who are gonna show their emotions. I don't think they're ready for that. Not on camera.
I don't know if that's fully helpful for them to be screamed at.
No, you don't have to be screamed about.
Right.
I definitely. Definitely. If we're gonna do it, you don't sit there.
There has to be some level of.
Of course.
You know, calm.
Of course.
You don't think I wanted to fucking say, mate, what the fuck's going on here? Of course I wanted to, but. You know, there's a way.
I'm sure you had your hands tied in some like that. You couldn't. Look, trust me.
It's not that I had my hands tied. It was. First of all, it was on the spot.
Yep.
And then secondly, it was okay. What's on my mind in the moment? The most important thing, and like for me, it's one step to more conversations. Like, there's so many questions. What happened with Fitzpatrick? What happened with Diesel? We're getting paid. There's so many questions. Like, there's like all of them.
When I was watching it, I'm going, I want to know about this. 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 Why is he this?
There were so many questions, and I just.
So is this the start?
Well, that's my hope, but I think I said to him yesterday, I'm like, in the video, I'm like, it's got to kind of go both ways. The accountability part, like, we got to be able to like communicate. As angry as we are, in a way that's evolved.
Productive.
They've got to come to the table a bit, like we've got to come to the table a bit.
Are you worried, honestly, were you worried that you don't want to wreck the relationship on the first interview, so just be careful in what you say? Because you don't want to go too hard and then they just pull back.
No, not at all. I mean, I don't need...
No, your channel doesn't need your club.
I'm fine. I don't work for anyone. Like I don't want a job. I'm fine. Like I'm okay. But I do believe that we don't need to be working under the same building. But I do think there needs to be a parallel with the fans and the club, similar to the way it's done in Germany. Done a lot of research with the way that works. Like you can't fully immerse. The independence has to be there, but there has to be some sort of a parallel.
I think so.
And you've got to be able to have some sort of a dialogue. But we, as fans, I don't know if we can have that dialogue, yelling and screaming. Like it's got to be done, you know, respectfully. You
can't yell and scream. Yeah. Like if you're going to have serious talks with some serious people at the club, and that definitely can't be yelling and screaming. You know,
and it's like you can't win as well, because it's like, oh, where's the president? Where's the president? Okay, there he is. Oh, it was scripted. You can't win. You can't win.
Yeah, and then no matter what a question you ask, there's always another question you should have asked. You know?
Yeah,
what I mean?
Exactly. And I look back at the video, I'm like, oh, I kind of wish I remembered to ask this, but what if we just like build the dialogue and continue to build that relationship so we can then get those questions out and get those questions answered? Like, I'm thinking long term. Because I'm just done beating the same. Mate, you and I especially have said the same thing for 4 years.
Yep.
Different names, but same problems.
100%.
So
we haven't changed.
So there has to be, I believe.
Well, we've got to move in it. We keep trying to do one way, it's not working. I mean, we've got to start moving in a different direction.
Yeah.
How do we get this, how do we get this problem fixed? You know what I mean? Like, and it is a problem. The Carlton Football Club at the moment is a massive problem.
It's a relationship breakdown.
It is a relationship breakdown, and it definitely is a relationship breakdown. And I think it's more on them than us. Like, there is definitely a relationship breakdown. I think there's a disconnect between the Carlton Football Club and the supporters in a way. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I don't get it. They don't get how important we are. They don't understand how much we can do. Like, how much can we do all together?
Mate, blow this fucking city up.
I don't think they get that. I think it's a lot of time it's about them.
Yeah.
It's about what they can get out of it.
Yeah, fair.
And it happened with all the way with Sayers and before that. But with Sayers, it was all about what they can get for themselves, at the end of the day.
Self-interest.
And there was some self-interest in that. And as far as the leaders of the club, I think you've got to take, it can't be about self-interest. This is about the Carlton Football Club. Like, it's like on the field, it can't all be about you. It has to be about those 1%ers where you don't get recognised for it.
Yes.
That's what it's got to be about. And I feel the club doesn't understand that. Oh, Charlie Curnow's a perfect example.
Yeah.
It can't be all about that. It's got to be about, hey, how about you lead over there and take 2 players with you? And I think that's that. So then all of a sudden you see that on the field and you go, oh, that's what's happening at the club a little bit. So does it filter all the way down? Yes.
It must.
It has to. If the leader sets the standard, it moves down the lines, all the way down. And guess what? If that all happens, supporters will get into line, mate.
Well, that's why I wasn't so critical of Cripps earlier in the year, because, I mean, there's a bit of talk about he hasn't been as good, which he hasn't been the Brownlow medal good. But I was looking at it earlier in the season and I think he's taken a bit of a step back and letting Chera and Hewitt kind of patrol things. And I think the last few weeks, though, I thought, I don't know.
So he looks like the last few weeks he's trying to take it on again?
Well,
he's a leader. He's probably figured, I need...
The balance of, I'll turn the game around and I'll let someone else turn the game around. And
So if he's doing that, right, it's not working. Yeah. I mean, Hewitt's definitely taken on...
Hewitt's been great. Chera's actually been pretty good too, apart
Chera's
from
been good
last week.
too. But the rest, are they up to taking up that mantle? And that's the issue. Have we got players that are actually up to it?
Yeah. Well,
as far as leaders, are we recruiting the right people? When we recruit him, we go, oh yeah, you're a good runner, and that. And then the bloke's going in the background, he's asking him, what's your most important thing? And he goes, oh, like making, they're not saying the most important thing is premiership. That's what I want. If when I say to you, what's the most important thing, you don't say premiership, I say, off you go, next.
I said this the other week, I'm like, it's okay if you want to have football for a job to provide for your family.
Course.
Just do it somewhere else.
That's true.
Just not here.
That's true.
Just go and be that, provide for your family and play for that. Just do it somewhere else.
But don't you think, like, I'd be thinking if I make the football, like the most important thing, everything else will take care of itself.
They're trying.
Who's trying?
I think the players are trying.
Look, at the end of the day, you always try.
And they keep failing. And maybe it's like getting to them like, oh my God, I think we're actually just not that good.
Yeah.
And then they're just, I don't know, man. I don't know.
You give up. You can't take that next step. I always think sometimes...
They're only got to win their next 8.
What's that?
They've only got to win 8 in a row.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's all you got to do. If you break it down 1 week at a time, I mean, forget about that. It's Collingwood, Brisbane, all
out
of that.
Form, broken,
yeah,
no
don't
spirit.
Think of Fremantle over there. Don't forget that it's all that. You know what I mean?
Just got to win 8 games. Like 8 to say it.
It can be that simple, but then you got to break it up again into the game, into the quarter, into the minutes. You know what I mean? Into the training session. You know what's funny? We had Vinny Cottogio on one of our shows, right?
Yeah.
And he said something that was fascinating. He said at training, they couldn't make a mistake. They could not make a mistake. So if you had to move to receive the ball, it was a mistake on the day. So, for example, if I'm kicking it to you and you had to move to the right, that was a mistake. And he said, like, and we would get berated if we would miss a target at training. And I think sometimes, you see him at training. Yeah.
I was there yesterday. I saw a lot of missed targets at training, I'll tell you now.
And was anything said?
No. And Paul actually screamed out at one point. He actually said, he's like, "Come on, lads, a little bit of voice. Come on, it's like a library out here."
He said, that's funny.
It was. We turned to each other. Charlie was loud early. You could hear him. He was yelling, demanding for the ball and the drill and this, go through the corridor. And then I think he went upstairs or whatever happened. And then it was just like, yep, Ollie. Like it was just. I don't know. Maybe it's a nothing. Maybe it's reading too much.
No, it's not. It's not a nothing, because if you don't set those standards there, what do you think's going to happen on the ground?
I watched them train yesterday and thought, yeah, this makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah, this makes a bit of sense.
Well, I've watched training videos and that, and I'm looking at it, I'm going, oh man, it's just not there. The intensity isn't there, mate. And so what's going to happen on the ground?
Yeah.
You've got to practice things over and over again. So when you get out there, it becomes a muscle memory. You know what I mean? And they don't do that, and they don't set standards. I'll give you another one. Who goes up to Kerno and who goes up to Cribs and says not good enough?
Who has that kind of pull? Maybe Wiedering. But
maybe Wiedering.
Ultimately,
I don't think there's too many.
It's a beauty and the curse, the Cripps situation. He is the champion. He's done so much. He's bled for the club and he's stayed. But he also has that syndrome of, I think Murphy kind of had it a little bit as well. And, if we want the standards, but don't poke at Cripps because he's done so much for the club, which he has.
100%.
He deserves a lot of. He's a champion, but
champion of the club.
Did Sticks used to cop it?
Did Sticks used to cop it? I think, I don't know. I'm not going to say did Sticks cop it.
It was a bit different because they had flags. They had done. But if ever these champion players.
I mean, I've heard Ange say that if Sticks comes in and sees him, he still respects him and he still goes, "Sir."
Right.
Still to this day. So maybe there was something different there. But I believe and I think maybe that, if he didn't do it, I'm sure there'd be someone like a Peter Dean.
Right.
Well,
Nick Haynes kind of showed a little bit of. Did you see that footage?
That was weird. No, not weird. It was a good weird. That was
like he was savage to them.
Yep. So he's come from a culture. Who did he play for? Who did he play for?
An expansion team.
GWS. So he comes from a culture that accepts nothing but the best, and now he comes here and he's probably been here 12 weeks and gone, you know what? Is
anyone going to say something?
I've had enough here, man.
Yeah.
And that's weird.
I hope that was a pivotal moment.
I hope so.
I hope that there was something in that. I mean, we're all looking for something to hold on to.
We are looking for something to hold on to.
I hope that the fact that we scared away that magpie is something.
All right, let's
get back to the game.
Let's get back to the game. I'm going to take control here, right? Right. What are we doing, man? We've got this big game, right? What do you expect?
Spirit and pride.
That's what you want to come up.
That's the expectation.
Yeah.
I'm not stupid to say that, we're not in form to say we're going to win.
Yep.
If I'm being honest.
It's more of we're hoping.
Well, anything can happen if you have spirit and pride. And if they take us slightly for a little bit.
5%, we raise 80%. If they just drop 5, we raise 80, maybe we've got a chance there.
Yeah, spirit and pride. You?
That's exactly right. I just want to walk out of there proud. I don't want them to laugh at us.
Yeah.
Which they have been.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't want them to laugh. I want them to say, you know what? You've given it all. You know what I mean? I want to see some fight. I say I don't want to see a fight on the field. I think I do. No, I want to see fights.
Actually, I want to see some.
I want to see fights. I don't want to see anything dirty and that, but I want to see fight.
Yeah.
I want to see fight. I want to see that.
Well, when your mate gets bumped, don't let him do it.
100%.
Because you'll see Collingwood do it. They're 100%. Very good like that. They 100%. Get right behind their players when they get knocked off.
If anyone gets touched, I hate talking about this filth, but if they get touched, you'll get players from the back running up, defending them.
True.
And we don't, you know what I mean? And that's that disconnect. I want to see the connect again. I want to play. All right, so we can't make finals. Mathematically, we can. Okay, so let's be serious. We're not going to do anything this year, man. How about some pride, guys?
Yeah. Well, you got to start building winning culture at some point.
Do it for yourself.
Yeah.
Don't worry about me. Don't worry about the supporters. Forget about the supporters for once. Do it for yourself.
Yeah.
Do it for yourself. Walk off that ground proud, mate. Don't forget about us. Forget about us. We're gonna. And another thing, stop saying stick together. You know, and we're there.
We will.
Mate. We're there, mate.
We will be there.
I'm going to wait here now. I'm not even going to go home. I'm going to wait here for the game to start, right? Don't give me that, but do it for yourself, bro, man. Like, do it for yourself, man. Like, just, you know, like, come off the ground, mate, and you've given everything you can. And that's all we ask. And if we see that and you lose, I'm telling you, we'll be all right, man. Fan cams will be fine, mate. Everyone will get on and say, mate, you know, I was proud of that effort, you know.
Build on it. And who knows what can happen next week. Yeah.
You know, and that's why people like when you see Ollie Hollands, you know, the things he does, you know, like he's almost got, he doesn't care about his own body, that bloke, you know. When you see that, so I want to see that from every single player. Him and Silvani, I reckon. Silvani's got that.
Yeah, he does.
Loves it.
I think we're going to miss him this week.
Yeah.
That's a big,
But it shouldn't matter.
No, I know. It's just...
We are going to miss him as far as that, but it shouldn't matter. The next...
To have that Silvani spirit out there, but whatever. You're right. It needs to be whoever. Maybe it's O'Farrell. Maybe you bring him in. Actually, yeah.
Yeah, I think he's ready to come.
Why wouldn't you bring him in if Stoss isn't going to play? Yeah.
Make some bold moves this week.
Cowan,
you know?
O'Farrell.
Cowan will come in.
Maybe Ashton Moyer might actually play.
I heard, yeah, he
maybe
kicked 4
Lemmy. I
goals.
don't know. There's a couple of them in there. That Ben Camporelli, he's always a popular name.
Yeah, the Camporellis, you know, so they might, you know, like we can't bring in like, at the end of the day, everyone keeps saying play the young. You can't bring in like 10 young kids because you're going to kill the team, you know what I mean? So you need some sort of balance there. But yeah, bring in a couple, man. Like definitely bring in another couple, man. And don't just do, if you're going to do some moves, Voss, if you're somehow watching this, man, like don't do the easy moves. Like show some balls, bro, man. Like there were some players there that maybe don't deserve a game this week. It's okay to go back to the reserves.
Yeah.
It's okay, bro,
Trust them.
If you need a stint in the reserves, that's fine, man. It doesn't mean you'll never get back in. You know, what does that do for the players in the reserves if these players are just playing like merda, right? And then you get like this player killing himself, he's going to give up.
Yeah.
He's going to give up, you know what I mean? And that's all I ask. And if you could start doing that, maybe it'll transfer to the game. But as far as the game goes, look, I'll be there. I'm going to yell and, I don't know. I don't really yell and scream anymore.
I don't yell much this year.
I reckon I'm
haven't had much to yell about.
Yeah. I just don't really do that anymore. I'm just more calm watching the game. But
you know, it'd be cool if the Collingwood chant happens, and then we somehow find a way to get up.
That'd be grouse to shut them up. Yeah, I would love to shut them up.
Yeah.
I would love to shut them up, man. It would be fantastic.
I'd love nothing more than to say, "Oh, this was your grand final this year." You know, we've taken the foot off the pedal. Fuck off.
Yeah, that's all right. That's all right. And they're probably right in a way. I mean, we say it about we say it about other teams.
Yeah, we do.
So maybe there is a bit of that, you know. Yeah, but for us, forget about beating. It has to start this week.
Yeah.
I said it last.
Here we go. Here's another line in the sand moment.
But it's got to. It's got to. Like we've got to get to the stage. You know, like remember when Hawthorn did it to Essendon, line in the sand?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah, the bloodbath.
Right. But that's only afterwards now. Like you're talking about it afterwards because it did turn.
Yeah, that's true.
But if it didn't turn, right, it would have been just another. We would have forgot about that. Oh yeah, Lloyd went after him and that. But now it's turned into that. Yes, that was the line in the sand. Maybe we'll talk about this one, but we just don't know. Yeah. Like until we're all going to be generals after the battle and go, I told you that was a line in the sand.
I saw this one coming.
It was ready to explode, you know. But yeah, so it's going to be difficult. Am I going to tip him? Yes. Dickhead. I'll tip him. 100% I'll tip him.
Hoodwinked.
Am I confident? No,
of course.
No. Am I scared? No, I'm not scared
No, not
anymore.
scared.
I'm not scared of them anymore. I'm not scared of what will come back at us. No, we're fine. We've been it.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Well,
All right. Thank you.
thank you.
Nice
Boys.
chat.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, and we'll just make sure you get out there.
Have a good
Get out
day.
there. We will. Get out there, and let's do this.